I never thought I'd be the guy posting something like this, but here we are. My name's Mike, and I was supposed to get married to Jessica in just a few days. We'd been together for almost 3 years, and honestly, I thought we had a pretty solid thing going. She was smart, beautiful, and I really believed she was the one. We had plans, a house, a future. I'd never suspected she'd do anything to mess that up. Looking back, maybe there were small signs that I ignored. She started being more distant in the last month or so. She'd cancel plans last minute, say she was tired or had to work late. She was bitchy sometimes, snapping at me about stupid little things, but I chalked it up to pre-wedding stress. She's always been a little high maintenance, a bit of a diva, so I figured it was just her usual mood swings. Plus, she was busy with her job, her friends, and all the wedding stuff, so I didn't press her. But then, around 2 nights ago, something weird happened that set off alarm bells. I was sitting on the couch after a long day, scrolling through my phone when I noticed a new message in my wife's Snapchat. It was from her best friend, Lisa, and it was a bit off. The message was just a quick, "Can't wait to see you tonight." But there was no reason for Jessica to be messaging Lisa this late. It was strange because Jessica usually kept her conversations very private, even with her best friend. Nothing suspicious there, I thought, but I kept it in the back of my mind. What really got me thinking was the tone of Jessica's social media activity the next day. She started deleting things, clearing out messages, acting like she was trying to cover her tracks. I didn't confront her then. I figured I'd get clarity later. But the weirdness continued. She was more secretive, more defensive when I asked questions. She'd say I was overthinking, that I was paranoid. I was starting to get a strange feeling in my gut, like something was really off, but I didn't want to believe it. Not her. Not Jessica. Then yesterday, I was cleaning up our shared email account, and I found something that made my stomach drop. An email from Jessica to her boss, thanking him for helping her unwind after a stressful week, and mentioning how she was looking forward to a little escape this weekend. That message alone was enough to set me on edge. But what really broke me was when I found a string of text messages on her phone after she went to bed. They were from someone named Chris, and from the tone, it was obvious they had more than just a professional relationship. The way they talked, the flirtation, the innuendos, there was no doubt in my mind that they'd been sleeping together. And the worst part, I found out just asterisk days before our wedding. I don't even know how to process this. I mean, she's been lying to me for months, maybe longer. She's been cheating, lying, sneaking around, and I never saw it coming. I've been planning this wedding, excited about our future, and now I'm just left with this sick feeling. I want to believe she's a good person deep down, but she's been nothing but a bitchy, manipulative liar. Tonight, I plan to confront her. I don't know what she'll say, probably some bullshit excuse about how it meant nothing, or she was just stressed, or she's sorry and it's all a mistake. But I do know one thing, I'm not the fool she thought I was. I deserve better than this. The question is, can I ever really forgive her? Or is this the end of the line for us? Honestly, I'm leaning toward walking away because I can't live with the betrayal, but part of me still hopes I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I just want to believe she's not this person. Anyway, that's where I am right now. Just a guy trying to make sense of a world turned upside down. I'll see how the confrontation goes, but I already know this isn't going to be easy. Tonight was supposed to be our last night as a single couple, or at least that's what I kept telling myself. It's crazy how quickly everything can change. I had this knot in my stomach all day, knowing I'd eventually have to face her, ask her why she did it, and hear her lie her way out of it. I kept telling myself I was prepared, but deep down, I wasn't sure I could handle what I might find out. Jessica was acting weird all evening, more bitchy than usual, snapping at me over nothing, brushing off my attempts at conversation like I was bothering her. She kept checking her phone like she was waiting for something or someone. I knew she was hiding something, and I felt like I was already losing control of the situation. I didn't want to be that guy who flips out or loses it, but I also knew I couldn't just pretend I hadn't seen what I saw. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I asked her to talk. She looked at me with that same bitchy smirk she's been wearing lately and said, What's there to talk about, Mike? Nothing's wrong, you're just paranoid. That broke something inside me. I told her I knew she'd been lying, that I found the messages, the emails, everything. Her face went blank for a moment, then she started laughing, that fake, dismissive laugh she's so good at. Oh, really? You found that? Wow, you're so clever, she snorted. Look, I don't know what you're talking about. I've been stressed, yes. But I'm not cheating on you. Chris is just an old friend. We've been working on a project together, that's all. People talk, Mike. You think I'd ruin everything for something so stupid? She rolled her eyes and looked away like she was disgusted I'd even bring it up, but I wasn't buying it. I pushed a little more, asking her when she started this affair how long she's been lying to me. That's when she snapped. Her voice got bitter and sharp, the kind of venom I'd never heard from her before. You don't get to be the victim here. I'm tired of your accusations, your paranoia. If you want to ruin what we had, go ahead, but I'm not going to sit here and be the bad guy. Maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut, but honestly, you're lucky I even stayed with you this long. You're boring, Mike, boring and control freaky. I needed some excitement, some real passion. And Chris, he's the only one who gave me that. That hit me like a punch to the gut. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She actually admitted to the affair just like that. No remorse, no apology, just that dismissive attitude. It was like she didn't care. I stared at her. Stunned, my mind was racing, anger, sadness, betrayal, everything collided inside me at once. This wasn't just about some cheating, it was about my entire life falling apart in that second. I told her she was a bitch, that she'd ruined everything for me. She looked at me with this weird, contemptuous smile and said, "You'll get over it, you always do." Then she went to bed without another word, leaving me sitting there alone and hollow. I didn't sleep that night. I kept replaying everything, trying to find some way to make sense of it all. But there was no sense. Just a hole in my chest where my trust and my future used to be. Now, sitting here in the dark, I keep asking myself if I should just walk away tonight. Part of me wants to confront her more, demand answers, see if she's truly remorseful or if she's just playing me. But another part, probably the smarter part, knows that I've already lost something vital. I thought I knew my wife, but I was wrong. Dead wrong. The worst part is I still love her, or at least I did. That's what hurts the most, knowing she threw it all away for some stupid, selfish thrill with Chris. So here I am, deciding whether I should pack my bags and leave right now, or try to salvage what's left of my dignity and walk away. Honestly, I don't know if I can forgive her, even if she begged. Maybe I'll just have to accept that some betrayals cut too deep, and trying to fix this might be futile. Either way, I'll figure it out tomorrow. For now, I'm just exhausted, emotionally drained, and feeling more lost than ever. This morning was just as bad as I expected. I woke up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. My stomach was twisted, my head pounding, and the weight of everything that happened yesterday still pressing down on me. I didn't sleep much. My mind kept circling back to her words, her face, the look in her eyes when she admitted to the affair. Honestly, part of me wanted to just throw her out and walk away forever. But another part, the stupid, naive part, kept wondering if maybe she'd try to explain herself. Maybe she'd say she was sorry. Maybe she'd beg for another chance. I don't know what. I was expecting, probably nothing good because I know her too well. Jessica's always been good at hiding her true feelings, twisting things to make herself look like the victim. She's a master manipulator and I've been blind to it. That's my biggest regret. I ignored all the signs because I loved her, because I wanted to believe in us. That love is what kept me from walking out last night, but this morning I started questioning everything. I made a coffee, sat on the porch and waited. I was trying to gather my thoughts, trying to figure out what I would say or do next. Then out of nowhere she came outside, looking her usual bitchy self with that fake innocent expression plastered on her face. I knew she was planning her next move. She tried to act like everything was normal, like she hadn't just destroyed the life we were supposed to build. "Morning," she said, voice sweet but with that unmistakable edge. "Did you sleep well?" I looked at her and said nothing. I didn't trust myself to speak. The silence stretched between us, full of unspoken rage and disappointment. After a moment, she sighed and leaned against the railing. "Look, Mike," she started, her tone already defensive. "We need to talk. Yeah, I messed up. I was stupid and I was selfish. But you have to understand, I didn't mean for it to go this far. Chris is just a stupid mistake, a lapse in judgment, and I swear it's over. I love you. I want us to work through this." I stared at her, trying to process what she was saying. I felt a cold rage building inside me because I knew her game. She was trying to manipulate me into feeling guilty or convinced she was just some victim of circumstance. But I also felt an ache deep in my chest, grief for what I thought we had, for all those plans that were now crumbling. I wanted to believe her, I really did, but somehow I just couldn't. "Did you really think I'd believe that?" I asked, voice tight. "You cheated on me with Chris, your best friend, and now you're telling me it's just a mistake. You've been lying for months. How can I trust anything you say anymore?" Her eyes flickered with something, anger, frustration, maybe even contempt. She shrugged, trying to act nonchalant like it was no big deal. "Look, I know I screwed up. I was stupid, yes, but I want to fix this. I want to be with you. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be here." That's when I realized she was just trying to string me along to keep her options open. Her words were hollow, and the manipulative look in her eyes made me sick. I thought about the nights I stayed up, waiting for her to come home, about the little signs I ignored because I loved her so much. Now I saw clearly. She had no intention of changing, no remorse that I could believe. She just wanted to keep her life the way it was, her free to do whatever she pleased, and me left to pick up the pieces. I told her I needed time to think, that I wasn't going to rush into anything. I saw her smirk then, like she knew she had won some small victory. But I didn't care. I knew what I had to do. I couldn't stay in this situation, not with her lying, cheating, and pretending everything was okay. I felt betrayed, angry, and heartbroken all at once. But I also felt a strange sense of relief because I finally saw her for who she really was. As she went back inside, I stayed there on the porch, staring into the empty space in front of me. I couldn't help but think about everything I'd lost, everything I'd thought was real. It's funny how someone can look so perfect one minute, and the next, you see the truth. They're just a stranger hiding behind a pretty face. I realized that I'd been living a lie, and the only way forward was to walk away from her, no matter how much it hurt. I already knew what I was going to do next: confront Chris, figure out exactly how long this had been going on, and then, somehow, find a way to start over. Because if she could lie to me like that, if she could cheat with my best friend, then she's not the woman I thought I married. She's just someone I need to leave behind. The hardest part of yesterday was sitting there, realizing that I had lost my sense of control. I always thought I was someone who could handle anything, but this betrayal cut deeper than I ever expected. I kept replaying her words, her smirk, that damn look she gave me when she thought she had me wrapped around her finger. I've known Jessica for years, and she's always been a bit bitchy, manipulative, but I never thought she'd go this far, cheating on me just days before our wedding. That's a new level of low. After I finally decided I couldn't stay quiet anymore, I went to her. I told her I needed space, time to breathe, to think. She tried to argue, say I was overreacting, that I was jealous or insecure, but I was. I just needed to know, really know, what was true and what was lies. And what I knew was this: she had been lying to me for months, possibly longer, and she'd been sleeping with Chris behind my back. The very thought made me sick. I asked her for her phone. I wanted to see everything, the messages, the calls, anything that could prove her guilt. She looked furious but handed it over. I scrolled through her texts, and my stomach clenched tighter with every message I saw. Flirty comments, "can't wait to see you tonight" emojis, all the stuff that clearly pointed to something more than just friendship. She kept trying to deny it, but the evidence was right there. She'd been hiding it, covering her tracks and lying straight to my face. I confronted her with everything I'd found. Her eyes flickered and she started lying again, saying Chris was just a friend, that I was paranoid, that I was blowing things out of proportion. Her voice was so fake, so rehearsed, I didn't believe a word of it. I told her I knew she'd been cheating on me, that I'd seen the messages. She looked annoyed, like my accusations were just an inconvenience, and then she started with the typical bullshit. How she was stressed, how she didn't mean for it to happen, that it was just sex, that it didn't mean anything. That's when I snapped. I told her that sex with Chris was just a stupid mistake. No, that's not what I saw, that's not what I read. I saw her lying, sneaking around, sneaking out late and cheating on me with her best friend. She was trying to gaslight me and I was done with it. I told her. She could lie all she wanted, but I wasn't going to be part of her game anymore. I was done, finished. She stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind her, and I was left there, feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. I didn't know whether to feel rage, sadness, or just numb. I'd been planning this wedding for months, and now it felt like I was losing everything, including my sanity. I wanted to call the wedding off right then and there, but I also knew that I needed time to cool off, to think, to decide what I really wanted. As I sat on the edge of the bed, I realized one thing. No matter how much I loved her, I couldn't undo what she'd done. I couldn't pretend it was just a mistake. I had to face the truth. Jessica had been lying, cheating, and betraying me for a long time. And if I stayed, I'd just be fooling myself. The pain was real, but so was the clarity. I knew I had to walk away, even if it hurt like hell, because I deserved better than someone who could lie and cheat so easily. Today, I'm trying to piece together my next steps. Part of me wants to confront Chris, find out just how deep this mess goes. Part of me wants to pack my things and leave, never look back. But I also want to understand why I let this happen, why I ignored all the signs, why I believed her when she kept lying. I think that's what's hurting the most, feeling like I was blind, like I was stupid for trusting her so much. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I do know I can't stay in this toxic situation. I need to figure out how to move on, even if that means starting completely over. That's what I'm considering now, not just walking away from Jessica, but from the version of myself I was before I got betrayed. It hurts, but I refuse to let her destroy me. I'll heal. I'll get through this. And maybe someday I'll even thank myself for having the strength to walk away. Today, I finally decided I've had enough of pretending things are normal. I think I've reached the point where I need to be honest with myself and stop trying to salvage something that's clearly broken beyond repair. I spent the morning packing my bags, not because I want to leave her, at least not yet, but because I need to see the full extent of what I'm dealing with. I want to understand if there's any part of me that can still believe in us, or if I should just cut my losses and walk away completely. While I was packing, I couldn't help but reflect on the past few days, how my world has turned upside down. I kept thinking about all the small moments I ignored, all the times she snapped at me or seemed distant. Maybe I'd missed the signs, but honestly I'd been blind because I wanted to believe in the fairy tale. Now I see her for what she really is, a manipulative, bitchy woman who used me, lied to my face, and cheated on me with my best friend. That realization hits harder than anything else. I also spent some time trying to piece together what her reasons might have been. She's always been high maintenance, demanding, and a little bitchy, but I never thought she'd do something this cruel. Maybe she was bored, maybe she wanted excitement, or maybe she's just that kind of person, someone who's selfish enough to destroy what's good for her own pleasure. It doesn't even matter. The damage is done. I can't fix that. I reached out to my best friend Mark early this morning. I knew I had to talk to him directly. I asked him what the hell was going on between him and Jessica. His voice was shaky, but he admitted that they'd been seeing each other for a couple of months now. He said it started with late-night texts, then grew into meetups, and finally sex. He seemed remorseful, but honestly I didn't care about his apologies. I just wanted to hear the truth. The truth is, I was betrayed by the two people I trusted most, Jessica and Mark. Hearing that was like a punch in the gut, but at least now I knew. I knew the extent of the betrayal, and I knew I couldn't stay. I told Mark I needed some space, that I didn't want to see him right now, and that I'd contact him later. I've got a lot to think about, and I don't want to say things I'll regret. But what I do know is that I have to walk away from Jessica completely. I can't have her in my life anymore. Not after what she did, not after she lied and cheated and manipulated me for months. So I told her I was leaving today. I found the strength to finally say it out loud. She looked surprised, maybe even a little scared, but she quickly masked it with that bitchy smirk she always wears. She told me I was overreacting, that I was making a mistake, that she still loved me and wanted to fix things. But I saw through her. I saw the desperation in her eyes, and I know she's not the woman I fell in love with. She's something else. A liar, a cheat, a manipulator. I packed my things, left a note telling her I couldn't be with someone who lied to my face, who betrayed me with my own friend. I said I deserved better, that I was done being a fool. As I walked out that door, I felt a strange mix of relief and heartbreak. Relief because I finally saw the truth, and heartbreak because I lost the woman I thought I'd spend my life with. But I also felt something else, hope. Hope that someday I'll heal, move on, and find someone who values me enough not to cheat or lie. Right now, I'm sitting in my car looking at this empty house behind me. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I do know that I have to start over. I need to rebuild my trust in myself, trust that I can be happy again, even if it's hard. The pain of betrayal will stay with me for a while, but I refuse to let it define me. I've learned a lot from this experience about love, trust, and the importance of listening to my instincts. In the end, I guess I'm grateful that I found out when I did. It's better to know the truth now than to keep living a lie. I hope anyone out there going through something similar will find the strength to face it head on. Because no matter how painful it is, sometimes walking away is the only way to save what's left of your dignity and find a way to start fresh. As I sit here now, hours after walking out that door, I can't help but feel a strange sense of clarity. Pain is still there deep in my chest, a relentless ache that won't go away, but underneath it there's something else, a faint glimmer of relief. I finally faced the truth I had been avoiding for months. Jessica's betrayal, her lies, her manipulation. They've all forced me to see that some things are just irreparable. And honestly, deep down, I knew I had to walk away, even if it meant starting from scratch. I keep thinking about all the moments I ignored, all the little signs I brushed aside because I wanted to believe in us, in her. Now I see how wrong I was to put faith in someone who wasn't who they pretended to be. I was blinded by love, yes, but also by hope that things would somehow get better. The truth is, sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes it's better to let go and protect yourself from further heartbreak. I know that healing won't happen overnight. There will be days when I feel broken, days when I question whether I made the right decision. But I also know that I'm stronger than I thought. I'll work on rebuilding my trust in myself, on rediscovering who I am outside of this mess. I've learned that honesty and loyalty are everything in a relationship, and I won't settle for anything less anymore. To anyone reading this who's going through something similar, I want to say, trust your instincts. Don't ignore the signs, no matter how much you love someone. If they betray you once, it will happen again if you let it. You deserve someone who treats you with respect, who values honesty. Don't be afraid to walk away, even if it's the hardest thing you've ever done. Because in the end, taking care of yourself is what matters most. I don't regret what happened because it taught me a lesson I won't forget. I've realized that I deserve genuine love and loyalty. Jessica's betrayal was a brutal wake-up call, but it's also the push I needed to start over. I plan to focus on my life, on my work, on my friends, on building something better, something stronger. Right now, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what my future holds, but I do know that I won't let this break me. I will heal. I will move on. And maybe someday I'll look back at this chapter and see it as the moment I finally took control of my happiness. Because no matter how dark things seem now, there's always a light ahead. I just have to keep walking toward it.